Larry Ellison is a huge name in the finance world, but if you aren't familiar with that side of things, then you're in for quite a treat. Ellison is the kind of entrepreneur that many business owners long to be. He is the co-founder of Oracle Corporation, a multinational computer technology corporation that specializes in enterprise software and cloud engineering systems. Larry has amassed quite the fortune and has also become close friends with some of the world's richest, one of those being Elon Musk. Many look up to Ellison as his story is rag to riches and is very inspiring. In today's video, we're going to dive into Larry Ellison's net worth, lifestyle, and how he spends his millions. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos that we post. Background: Larry Ellison was born on August 17, 1944 in New York City to a Jewish mother and an Italian father, explaining his ethnicity. At the age of 9 months, Ellison developed pneumonia, and after this, his mother gave him to his uncle and aunt for adoption. Interesting fact, Ellison did not reunite with his birth mother until he was 48 years old. Ellison moved to Chicago's South Shore and then moved to a more middle-class neighborhood. Ellison attended South Shore High School in Chicago and did well during his studies. He then graduated and attended the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign and enrolled as a pre-med student. While at Illinois, he was named Science Student of the Year, but later withdrew without taking any of his final exams for his sophomore year. This was because his adopted mother had passed away. He then enrolled at the University of Chicago after spending the summer back there after his mother's passing. He enrolled to study physics and mathematics. However, he did not take any of his exams again. At Chicago Uni is where he first encountered and was introduced to the world of computer design. In the early 1970s, Ellison started working at Ampex and was heavily influenced by Edgar F. Codd's research on relational database design. This design would actually become the main inspiration for Oracle 7 years later. While working at Ampex, part of his job was to create databases for the CIA. One of these he actually titled Oracle. In 1979, the company renamed themselves Relational Software Incorporation, and in 1983 officially became Oracle Systems Corporation after its flagship product, the Oracle database, which was designed and created primarily by Larry Ellison. The company continued to do well. However, they hit a rough patch in 1990 when the company began losing money. This meant they were forced to lay off 10% of their workforce, which totaled about to 400 people. The crisis got so bad that the company almost had to declare bankruptcy. Apparently, this downfall was caused by the very strong marketing strategy that aimed and urged potential customers to buy the largest possible amount of the software all at once. The salespeople then booked the value of future license sales in the quarter, which increased their bonuses. This became a huge problem when future sales failed to materialize. Oracle had to restate its earnings twice and had to settle class action lawsuits that arose from having overstated their earnings. Ellison later called it an incredible business mistake. At the time, IBM dominated the mainframe relational database market. However, they delayed entering the market for a relational database on Unix and Windows operating systems. This left room for competitors like Sybase and Oracle and eventually Microsoft to dominate the mid-range systems and microcomputers. At this time, from 1990 to 1993, Sybase was ahead of the game with Oracle close behind. In 1994, Informex took over Sybase and became Oracle's #1 rival. An intense rivalry ended up becoming front-page news in Silicon Valley between Informex CEO Phil White and Ellison. This went on for 3 years until 1997 when Informex announced a major revenue shortfall and earnings restatement. Phil White ended up landing in jail, and IBM absorbed the company Informex in 2001. As well, in 1997, Ellison became a director of Apple Computer after Steve Jobs returned to the company. In 2002, Ellison re-signed, and during this time, Oracle was thriving and dominating the industry until Microsoft came along. Oracle continued to grow and increase in market value and popularity. This meant Ellison continued to rake in millions upon millions, making him wealthier and wealthier every passing year. Net worth: Larry Ellison is reportedly worth $100 billion, making him the 7th wealthiest individual on the globe according to Forbes. Although Ellison is no longer the acting CEO, resigning from this position in 2014, he is still serving as the company's chairman of the board and chief technology officer. He served as the CEO for Oracle for 37 years total. Ellison owns around 35.4% of Oracle and continues to cash in big annually. Not only does Ellison earn his wealth from Oracle, Oracle, but he also holds a stake in Tesla and works closely alongside CEO and founder Elon Musk. Ellison has even since become a director on the board of Tesla Corporation after he purchased 3 million shares in 2018. Ellison owns around 1.7% of shares in Tesla, which earns him a decent amount every year on top of his fortune from Oracle. Lifestyle. Larry Ellison has an incredible real estate portfolio and is no stranger to living a lavish lifestyle. He has even been dubbed the nation's most avid trophy home buyer by the Wall Street Journal. When asked in an interview why he buys so many homes, more than he could possibly live in, he replied, "I'm going to start these art museums that are basically converted homes. I have one for modern art, I have one for the 19th century European art, and one for French Impressionism." Larry Ellison's first ever lavish purchase came in 1988 when he bought his home in San Francisco's swanky Pacific Heights neighborhood for $3.9 million. This mansion covers 10,000 square feet and was designed by architect William Worcester with 4 levels and 5 bedrooms. More impressive than the home is the neighborhood where the home resides. This area is often referred to as Billionaire's Row. In 1995, Ellison made another property purchase, buying a 23-acre estate in Woodside, California. This estate reportedly cost him around $12 million, but Ellison spent over $200 million on renovating the property, which is modeled after a 16th century Japanese imperial palace. In nearby Palo Alto, Ellison purchased the Epiphany Hotel for around $71.6 million in 2015. Although he still owns a hotel, it is managed by Nobu Hospitality, a very popular franchise in California and New York. Recently, the hotel went under quite an intense renovation and opened back up in 2020 with 73 rooms that are now equipped with Alexa virtual assistants. These rooms range from $600 to $900 per night. Adding to his list of growing properties and homes, Ellison reportedly owns 24 properties in Malibu, California, 10 of which are located on a stretch of Carbon Beach, commonly referred to as Billionaire's Beach. It is estimated that he has spent around $200 million and $250 million on these properties. Ellison continues to buy properties in this area. Like many rich billionaires, Ellison also owns numerous properties along the picturesque Lake Tahoe East Shore. The total amount he has spent in Lake Tahoe properties comes around to $100 million. One of these is a 7.6-acre property with a private beach and 2 private piers, a tennis court, a pool, and a spa. On this estate, there are a number of different houses, including a cottage, a writer's cabin, a guardhouse, a beach house, and more. Not only does Ellison own property in the US, but he also owns many properties internationally. Ellison purchased a historic garden and villa in Kyoto, Japan for $86 million in 2012. Ellison also purchased $300 million of land on the Hawaiian island of Lanai. He basically purchased the entire island, or 98% of it. The land includes 90,000 acres, 32,000 residents, and 2 four-season resorts. Along with this massive purchase, he also bought 2 airlines, he refurbished the hotels, and started investing in clean energy sources for the island. How Larry spends his millions. As we previously mentioned, Larry Ellison loves to spend a huge portion of his fortune on homes and different properties across the globe. However, just like other billionaires with a lot of money to spend, he has made many luxurious purchases over the years, also donating a huge chunk of his wealth to charities in need. Larry is an active philanthropist. He mainly donates through the Ellison Foundation, which is his own foundation. He also donated more than $100 million to the University of Southern California in order to help establish a research center for cancer treatment and prevention. This is close to the heart, as his adoptive mother sadly passed away due to cancer. In 1998, Ellison opened the Lawrence J. Ellison Ambulatory Care Center and donated $5 million to seed the Lawrence J. Ellison Musculoskeletal Research Center. Ellison opened the center after shattering his elbow in a high-speed cycling crash. This crash inspired him to begin his philanthropic efforts, and following this incident, Ellison began donating very regularly and in large amounts to charities and foundations that were in need. He also has a large passion for yachting and owns the Oracle Team US that competes internationally. His team even won the America's Cup in 2013 after being the Emirates Team New Zealand for the Cup. And there you have it, Larry Ellison and how he got to where he is today and how he spends his fortune. Ellison is an incredibly intelligent and innovative individual and continues to focus his efforts on donating to charities and helping Oracle continue to grow and evolve as a company. Sadly, that is all the time we have for today, but don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new uploads.